Oh, good morning. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Shower time, Adderall, a glass of whiskey, and diesel jeans.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
We should stand back and give credit to the other people because we think we are absolutely atrocious.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
I mean, it's chicken. It's fried chicken.
Story going on.
It's almost a coach controversy.
Ain't a coach controversy.
I don't even know if it's a quarterback controversy. I think it's more of a coach thing. He's just like choosing the wrong option to manipulate the Bears.
It is fascinating what's happening.
It's fascinating. It's like weird. It doesn't make sense.
At the same time, it's the least fascinating for us as Bears fans. That was my point. Like, it's just we know Matt Nagy is that like something like screw loose that it won't make sense what he does.
If you're like a leader of a group or a team or something, and you do something that the entire body disagrees with in the community, but it still take you to a successful area, in my opinion, that's as bad as failure. I mean, there's no reason in going somewhere and proving like your community wrong, unless it's like a true thing where it's like everybody's support. I don't even like. There's no situation you can even think of where a community doesn't know what's best for themselves, and it's like the Bears fans. We're all very clearly 90 to 10% on Justin Fields' side. There's probably a handful of people who were fans of Andy Dalton in Cincinnati or back in college, just because of what he was able to do at Big 12 level and everything like that they want to see him go.
As a person, I'm not a fan of him.
He sucks. I mean, the same way that like Nagy is just like, oh my god, like does he ever actually like he talks like that? Like I couldn't sit in a room with that guy and actually cut it up with him because I think he's like listening to himself the whole time. Like I don't know what it is. He's weird. He's a weird dude.
He sucks. Yeah.
He sucks. He's not cool at all. That's for sure.
He big sucks.
I mean, like at least show that you hear us. I mean, he's so. He talks down to you, like the way he won't tell us the truth about anything. He just like, trust me. No, I know. No, trust me.
Yeah.
You idiots don't know anything. And it's like, okay, we do because we watch
a lot. He
said
that yesterday. He was like, and I know you guys, everybody wants to see Justin get some more reps out there, but
who said? Yeah.
I know. So Nagy said that.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
So he knows.
Yeah, Jeez.
So bad.
That is, I mean, the way he really just said that it's going to take regular season reps for him to evaluate Dalton. Like, all right, thanks.
Oh,
awesome.
You're dumb. You're a dumb coach. You can't evaluate with preseason and training camp.
That's what he's saying. He can never go through a quarterback battle.
He doesn't get it.
Never evaluate people.
He's openly saying, I don't get it. I'm not confident in my choices. Actually, I heard a cool thing the other day, like in the military, the more you build like that muscle to just make snap decisions, good or bad, you're going to be put in more safer situations and dangerous ones. So a bad snap decision in a life and death scenario is a better decision than no decision at all, just kind of sitting there overthinking. So it's like, I get he made his Andy Dalton decision from the jump, but you also need to be able to make a snap decision to change the mind. Because right now he is kind of going like back into like the middle area, and it's like a very weak spot to be in.
Wow. Well,
don't draft a quarterback. Right? Don't draft a quarterback.
Yeah. No, I know. Don't coach a team.
Don't coach a team. Don't draft a quarterback. Don't be in professional sports. I mean, I get it if you're middle school and you can't go cut. You want to play the 8th grader over the 6th grader. But it's like, I've even known high school coaches who are willing to put a freshman on varsity and play them over the upperclassmen. How can a pro coach not even believe
He might have a weird ulterior motive of why he's...
Well, you hit on it. You hit on it by saying that he's trying to keep these promises. I've thought the same thing. The issue, I was looking for you to criticize it a little more because it's so blatantly like self-centered for him, and like nobody cares about the Matt Nagy. There's no Matt Nagy team. There's no Chicago Matt Nagys. Like, we don't care. Either you're good or you're bad for us. If you're part of the flow and the winning, then you're part of like the fandom. But it's still like you're just an offshoot of the Chicago Bears. If you don't get that as a coach and you make it about yourself, I don't know how you win fans over. Especially if you don't win or you don't listen to the fans.
He does not seem to be making moves that are beneficial for the Bears.
Not at all. It's beneficial for himself, and the perfect example is taking the play calling out of Lazor's hands after we had actually some decent offensive performances at the very end of the year last year. That was our best chunk of the year, was like week 16. Or no, I think we lost that one. One of those games we won by like 21 points. It was the first time we broke through that 30 barrier in like 11 weeks. And it was when it was like Lazor's second week play calling. And it was like, okay, you gave me the buffer
Jacksonville week 15
went into it. Ball, we were sweet. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, we did well. And then, like, now turn around, Nagy wants the play calling back when he was the most horrific failure last year. And now even through preseason.
To be honest, 2 games through the preseason,
terrible.
It's been an unmitigated disaster.
So bad. How can you not scheme up a system with solid quarterbacks? I mean, he plays as starter.
6 total points in the first half of both games combined.
Yep. That's
now
true.
Think about that. That's our ones out there. That's our starters.
That's identical.
So right now, our starting offense is by far the worst in the league.
That's identical to multiple 2-week spans last year. Multiple, where we would score in 2 weeks worth, we score 6 points in the first halves together, or 0. There were so many times where we went to into that locker room with 0 points.
And the other crazy thing is like, all right, Nagy, we get it. Like, okay, you don't think Fields like might not be ready, blah blah. But literally last year, you brought in a guy, and now he's our third stringer, about to be traded or something because he didn't have.
He's like
to survive around a line.
Exactly.
Now we have a worse line, and you want to put in the guy again, a veteran that's not mobile. Like it's the exact same team as last year with just a worse quarterback.
I agree, and I'm like, you can look at certain chunks of highlights of Andy Dalton's career and certain chunks of highlights of Foles' career, and to be honest, Foles has better career highlights, like spans. You know, his that first year where he threw like, what was it? He under Chip Kelly, he had like 28 touchdowns and like 5 picks or something. Like some sweet season. And he was awesome. He was balling out, and then he just like, you know, he came back down to earth, and then he had another sweet span. Took the Eagles and won a Super Bowl with them. He came back down to earth, but like he did it twice through. We saw it. He's a live wire. He could either be really bad or pretty damn good. Andy Dalton has never, ever in his career had some kind of story worth telling. Never.
No.
And there was.
I mean, I'll say this for him.
The Bengals haven't always been as bad as people say. They've had decent defenses in the past. They've had good, decent weapons. Remember, there was multiple seasons where Bengals go in. I bet you even as recently as 2015. 2016, that the Bengals went into the year as the favorite in their division.
In the league, they went to the playoffs his first 5 years in the league. Went to the playoffs 5 years.
There you go. And
it was like Sanchez.
Did he win a playoff game? No playoff wins? Any?
I don't think they ever had one. No, remember they had a close one against like Minnesota, and they like went to overtime or something. I don't know, but no, I don't think they ever won one.
It's like, and that's what, it doesn't make sense. The saying "it's my time" thing is delusional.
It didn't bother me that much because it's also like, what else are you gonna say? I guess like coming.
I get it, but it's like kind of delusional.
It's kind of delusional and it's stupid because all
I don't think I would have said it. I don't think I would have. If I was Andy Dalton there, I don't think I would have said that.
No,
I would have went. It's coach's choice. He puts me on the field. I'm going to go play as good as I can. He puts Fields on the field. He's going to go ball out. And like, that's
don't you think that just made Fields more fired up?
Yeah. It's weird. It was like a little subliminal shot saying like, hey, I'm still team, like Andy Dalton saying like, hey, I'm still team Dalton over Fields. Rather than just saying I'm team Bears, like he could have said. Saying me or Fields will be on it's up to the coaches. And he's like, that's all I'm going to say.
Him and Nagy get along. They're not looking out for the Bears.
Exactly. They get along because they both have this narrative in their head, like, this is Andy Dalton's time, and we're going to go shock the world.
So who else would not be the ones that are executing this stupid plan they won't give up of I promised you Q21, right, buddy? Yes, you did, coach. I bet those two are the only ones in the whole franchise. There's no way to think it, and it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, is Matt fucking serious? Is he really still going to start Andy?
Because that that's real. Well, look at you can even tell Allen Robinson's already like rolling his eyes half the time, staying on the sidelines now. And he said in that interview that Fields will have a great career in the NFL. He could already tell. What that's code for saying put him the fuck in because Dalton hasn't had a good career.
Your only weapon on the team that is Pro Bowl level, and he's telling you,
yes,
that's what I want in the game.
That's nothing. Allen Robinson, who should be our captain, who's treated like a dog and not even listened to. I don't remember the last time that Nagy's even said the name Allen Robinson outside of saying we're waiting on extending him.
And he's such a professional about it. He does not
and he's a sweet player. He's had bad quarterbacks his whole NFL career, and he's been awesome every year.
Think about it. He's never held out. He's never gone and personally called out anybody in the media or anything. He
rarely misses games.
But he's had such an unlucky, rift of quarterbacks the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's had awful quarterbacks.
Well, you remember yesterday when you asked about the hit because you were driving on Fields, and I said we really don't have to worry about Fields getting hurt. The reason I was saying that is because you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, he's never missed a start in his NFL career. He's never missed.
True.
I mean, he's missed a few snaps. I remember a couple seasons ago, he missed a second half, but he's never missed a start. And that's not because he's not been injured. That's what I'm saying. He might be injured, but he's going out there and he's playing, and he's winning. And it's like you need a guy like that. Aaron Rodgers is similar. Aaron Rodgers is similar. He goes out and he. Remember when we blew Khalil Mack hurt him bad the season opener 2 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then he came in the second half all pelled out and beat us. And it's like, that's what you need from a quarterback, not some cautious medical staff that makes all the decisions. And I think that Fields is a guy who will always be like, no, it doesn't hurt. And they're like, what are you talking about? You have a muscle tear. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't hurt, so why can't I play? Even though it probably is on fire and hurting him, he cares way more about football.
I'm going to look it up right now. I'm very interested to see if there's any news or tomorrow at practice if there is anything lingering, like maybe a concussion or just to make sure, because maybe it might not have been something that hit him till the next day or that night or when he's trying to sleep.
What I would say about Fields though is he has the most notorious gutty performance, debatably in college football history. After taking
look what he said, Justin Fields. It's disrespectful for fans to chant my name when Andy Dalton is playing.
That's smart thing to say, and that's the type of stuff that Andy Dalton should be saying.
Andy Dalton said the opposite.
He said the opposite. It's so bad. Look at that. He's already a better, smarter quarterback room guy. It's just but that's what I'm saying. Fields had the guttiest, performance of all time after taking that shot against Clemson. Didn't the Venables kid, didn't he come in and just crack him first quarter against Clemson 2 years ago? Right in the ribs. Ended up, I think, breaking ribs on him. Fields was out there the whole game and ended up winning that game. Outplayed Lawrence like he always does. And that's that. And
he has a history of playing.
That was when I fell in love with. I remember. That was when I was like, that's an NFL QB. He took a hit and it made him mad, even though it hurt him for sure. It wasn't a scared thing. It was a thing. He's like, now I'm gonna go whoop your asses, and that's what you need in a quarterback. And it's not as common as you'd think. It's not common.
Yes.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger literally is out there sometimes with freaking separated shoulder. You think he's going to do more damage than the backup? 90% of people go, no, you bring a healthy guy, and it's actually, I would rather just keep if he wants to be in there, let him play, man. I mean, that's part of being a football guy.
What did Brady say? What did he have hurt that just came out during the whole Super Bowl run?
Yeah, and he's 40 years old, and he had a broken rib torn meniscus. Wasn't it? What? And he never mentions it. That's Fields.
Yes.
And that's what you need. You need it. The guy who's going to accept, I'm going to get injured every season. And it's about playing through the injuries, and that's part of being a sick baller. And that's another thing Fields likes. Is like
playing. It's hurt and injured. Everyone in the league is hurt, and everybody plays hurt, but not everybody plays injured. And
being hurt always leads to a higher chance of getting injured.
Right.
So it's the people who can just be like whatever the whole time.
The difference is the injury. It's not the being hurt. It's the actual injury. Like I'm playing with a broken arm right now.
I agree. I mean, yeah, and you should just be like, there's some guys who it doesn't matter. They'll go out there and they'll play through it.
And some guys will not play because they're hurt. Because really, your hammy is sore. So is mine, and his, and his, and his, and his, and his, and his, and his. But okay, he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah. I don't. No, that was okay. Now we're hitting about 40 minutes, Tim, not an hour.
Oh.
So
why did I think that? Oh, I had mine recording like for a few minutes before you got on, I think.
30 minutes?
I don't think it was that long.
Mine's that I started.
Oh, yes. Because I joined the team meeting, and I was sitting in the lobby at 4 o'clock when it's supposed to start, or 4:30, and then you never showed up.
I was stuck in Del Taco.
That's why I literally asked you before that. How much time do you need? It's fine. I'll be here.
Whatever.
1 hour? Okay. All right, you ready? No, I'm actually...
I'm in the drive-thru.
Okay.
Have you tried the new roller wrap?
Huh? The cheesy roll-ups?
No, they're actually really good. They're called Jacked Up Value Rice, Beans, and Cheese Burritos for $1.
Oh, you're doing a Del Taco.
Del Taco.
I don't have one of those out here. I can't eat that.
Yeah, I bet you have Taco Bell.
I did. I went the other day for the first time in a minute.
So bad.
I've been on a wild fast food binge.
I've been on a really bad one.
Multiple times a day.
Multiple times. I have a budget of I spend money every day I have to. I have rotting HelloFresh shit in my freezer. That shit won't stop coming to the house.
It gets so
it's it's such a good idea, but you know what would be even better than this? If they sent it all cooked. We can do any possible damage to Andy Dalton. The one thing that nobody's mentioned, I'll actually talk about this. The one thing no one mentioned about Andy Dalton is his numbers from last season, literally a year ago. He had, 10 starts or some crazy number? And he was shit. He couldn't win in the worst division in football. It's it was just, he was so bad in Dallas, and he had a good receiving core. I don't remember one good performance by him. If anything, he had a couple good halves, but he never put two together and had a dominant.
In the games he played, he started 9 games. They went 4-5 in the games he started.
Ugh. That offense too. That's better than our offense. What's he gonna do with the Bears?
Basically, in 10 games, he threw for 2,200 yards, 14 TDs, 8 picks, QBR of a 53.8. He took 24 sacks in 9 games. Bro, we are going to get fucked if he starts against the Rams and anyone else.
I don't know how big. Yeah, I agree. And it's stupid to go into that game. That's another thing. It's just go let Andy take the loss to LA. And it's why? Why do we have to just take a loss? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to actually commit to a loss. We have a decent defense, and we have a guy who can actually get away from pressure. I mean, Fields is on a flat ground. Fields is still faster than Aaron Donald. I don't care what people say. I mean, he can get away from him. Andy Dalton in no world, in any muscle fiber of his body, is quicker twitch than Aaron Donald. He's going to get destroyed by that line. He has no chance. He was trash in the preseason. The only throw that even got him some kind of airtime was that Adams toss,
think people are saying
and he
that
would have
you
hit
do
the
have a
defender in
chance.
the face if the defender.
I think
turned
people are
around.
saying you don't have a chance with Fields, or that's what they're trying to tell us. We're saying we're not going to start him because I think what they're saying is what you originally said. We're taking week 1 as an L.
Why?
No, right. I'm saying I think to me that's what it sounds like. Otherwise, why wouldn't you just try your rookie out and maybe because what they're saying is we know we can't win with Andy Dalton, but we know we can't win with Andy Dalton. But we definitely can't win with Fields. So why would we put him out there against Aaron Donald?
Who's saying that? Nagy's saying that?
That's my vibe from the coaching from the Bears right now. Is
okay.
I think
then take your personal stand. Like, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
No, but Simeon, I think it'd be a waste of my breath to tell you that I don't agree with that because I don't think a breathing soul outside of who's ever inside that Bears PR room and Matt Nagy agree with that. So I mean, it's obvious. Like, why? Who was the
No, I get what they're saying. I mean, it's very
mind would think that. It's stupid, but it's also Matt Nagy.
It's Matt Nagy, and it's time we move on from him. I mean, why draft a guy like?
I mean, you understand the injury scare that they would have in their mind, and that
this
I
would
get
make more sense 2 seasons ago if we were taking Andy Dalton off the hands of the Bengals as the starting quarterback of the Bengals, not after a season of a failed backup in Dallas with one of the most talented receiving corps in football with a good running back who was healthy all year. Was he? Zeke?
Who?
Zeke. Wasn't he healthy last season? Just didn't play well.
Yeah,
the year before he was hurt.
Played like shit. He couldn't score touchdowns. He kept fumbling.
That's right. It was his fumble year. Well, that's what they were saying on the Hard Knocks and everything. But it's like, that has to be one of like the 5 teams people would say where it's like a quarterback can fit into that system and be successful, purely because of the talent standpoint in Dallas. And that was like the hardest team to bet on last year. It's like, how are they not winning games? How are they not scoring 27 points at least? Like, it's like it was so weird, and like I hated every second of Cowboys football last year. I went into that year. I remember that was my dark horse to make to the Super Bowl because I just thought they were one of the more complete teams, and I really liked the depth on offense. I liked Dak, and turns around, you stick Andy Dalton in, and first instinct based off of Andy Dalton's career and his career stats, which aren't even that great, is, okay, he can go in and at least cover for Dak. Somebody else who hasn't won and just like kind of pumps the book, doesn't have a fantastic record, but can at least go in there and sling it around. It's exactly what everybody thought bringing Andy Dalton in, and he did the opposite. He was terrible. He was terrible, terrible, terrible. Had to be the worst quarterback last year. I would not be surprised if the numbers back that up. And that was with that team. And then turn around, it's like everybody just forgets. It's like, oh no, he's a vet. He's a starter in this league. Now is my time. And it's like, now is not your time. You've already gone from starter, what did he play, like 7 seasons, to backup. It makes no sense for him to go back to starter and say it's his time. It makes no sense. I hate it, and I hate it. Makes me sick.
It's pretty retarded, and it's pretty much what's going to happen week 1, I think. If you had to tell me what are the chances Justin Fields gets to start, I'm going to say 0.
But what did I say? I agree. But what did I say? Last season, there's a 0% chance that Foles would have started as many games as he did if the crowd was there. And the crowd is already helping our like...
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's crazy that I still think
they're helping our case. They're booing him. They're booing Dalton off the field in preseason football. There's no way he's going to last a half in the regular season at home.
No, we know, right? But the crazy thing is that's the crazy thing is that's where our coach is. It's only going to get worse all the way up to week 1, and I think there's a 0% chance Justin Fields can go out and go 20 for 20 and have 5 touchdowns in week 3 of preseason, and there's a 0% chance he's going to start week 1. I think.
But what, like, my question is, like, what is he saying? Does he have a past relationship with Dalton or something like he did with Foles? Because I don't understand why he's saying things like we have to see him in the regular season. He's shit.
I know. Do you think it's his ego? Like it's happened a couple times to them where he made that promise that you're our QB1. And I say, I'm not going to bring my promise. Which, honestly, if I was him, long term, if he's thinking, okay, long term, am I going to be this Bears coach? Maybe, probably not. Best case scenario, I can save myself 2 more years, but I'm not going to last here. I'm not that good. Or if he's conscious of that, if I were him, I would start Andy Dalton. And I would say, I'm sorry, you know why? Because I keep my promises. It's not for my next job, my next quarterback that maybe wants to come play for me. At least they know I don't lie to my quarterbacks. And that shit sticks in the league. If you're trustworthy about behind the scenes with your quarterbacks, that could follow him this career. So maybe he's really doing it just for himself. It's a pure self.
And that's so bad, because, like, with all due respect, Matt Nagy, no one gives a fuck about your personal career, like, at all. Who cares? You're the coach of the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears aren't your team. You're the coach of the Chicago Bears.
You're not getting hired, Simeon. They're not going to hire guys with no integrity in the league. I'm saying it just helps him a little bit down the road to stay in his eyes. He's thinking, well, at least I'm going to be trustworthy and keep a promise I made.
Okay, well, if we're talking integrity, the best coach in the league has the worst integrity then.
Who? Bill Belichick? Why? I would disagree.
He's the one guy who will draft a guy, and then after a Pro Bowl season, we'll get rid of him. It's the reason that Brady left town. I don't find it bad or anything, but
what does it do with integrity?
Integrity to give, like, to build loyalty, to build kinship among your team and everything, and your staff, like you're saying.
If he decides this player is not the type of person for this team, he gets
you think Belichick or Nagy gets more respect? I mean, it's like to say that, like,
but integrity doesn't mean respect.
How is him making a promise to Andy Dalton going to help bolster his future? And I understand what you're saying, but it's like the most blind vision of all time. It makes no sense why a professional coach, there's 32 in the world, would actually think that way and somehow get to that position, being somebody who thinks that way.
No. It has nothing to do with Simeon. It's not a personal thing. It's not you to be born this way. I'm saying in the NFL, I think if I had to put money on it, it carries with you to be able to keep secrets, and it carries with you to be able to be trustworthy. Because, and I guess that'd be one and the same
thing. Secrets or promises?
Both. But okay, so that's when I say trustworthy, I mean promises as well. Like, I think it holds strong. I bet to help you get a job or help you get an extension or help you gain a locker room or bring coaches to come with you to a new staff, if they know that you keep secrets and you can keep promises. If they know that, I think you have a better off chance of landing a more stable job than if he were to turn around, get fired from the Bears, and turn around and lie to Andy Dalton, get him to sign to the Bears, and then he doesn't start him. Andy Dalton doesn't get any playing time. Then going forward, at least you know there's one guy that will never play for me again, Andy Dalton. There's 2 guys that never play again, Mitch Trubisky. The way I treated Mitch Trubisky, will Mitch ever take a job to play for Nagy again? Mitch would be like, fuck no. Fuck that guy.
What? Okay, I don't get this. You're saying Andy Dalton's worth his more than season wins in his head? Or is he that dumb?
Because Nagy, I think Nagy's window of being our Super Bowl coach is done. I think even if Fields plays this year and he plays great and we sneak into the playoffs, I don't see Nagy lasting.
So don't pose this from Nagy's perspective. What do you think of the whole situation?
It's completely obvious. It's like classic Bears. To me, it's not very shocking.
Say it. What? What's your stance on Nagy and the Bears? Because it sounds like you're like defending his points. I think everything.
I'm coming from Nagy. I'm telling you, this is what Nagy's point of view is on the situation.
I get it.
I think he already knows he's cooked. And from our point of view, it's obvious. That's why I think there's no reason to waste our breath saying, let me tell you one thing everybody in Chicago agrees with. Is Nagy a good coach? No. Does he communicate with us and the fans of the media well about telling us what's going on? No. Is he smart when it at least comes to play calling? No.
So what do we do? What do we do?
No. He's not going to win the Super Bowl. So I don't think he's here for more than 5 years, regardless of what we do this year. Like, there's no righting the ship anymore.
So
he's done.
So plain and simple, you believe the fact that he's manipulated ownership to giving him next year when he himself knows that he's not going to last. No, because that's 100%. That's it. That's what it is. Because ownership of a team won't hire a guy that they know won't bring him to a Super Bowl. They're giving him a chance because they think that he can do it based on our 12-4 season. But you're saying that Nagy, it's so blatant and common sense. He knows in his head he's toast as a Bears coach. He just got lucky by grabbing an extra year, so he's going to build loyalty with veterans in the league and say screw to the rookies.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say I'm going to try to build loyalty with the veterans. I'm saying I think that Nagy, in his hierarchy of things that he wants to do and cares about, one of them is keeping this QB1 promise to Andy Dalton for some reason. Because, Simeon, tell me a better explanation of why you would start Andy Dalton.
It's the promise thing. I agree.
That's my point.
It's
Simeon,
so hard to.
There's no explanation for why Andy Dalton's going to start week 1. And so I'm telling you, for me, if I had to guess, I put money on this is why. He's keeping his promise. And here's why he would keep his promise. In this scenario in my head, this is what I think is happening.
Okay.
I think he's just
and I think that's common sense too. And all I'm saying is, like, make your take on it. You want worst coach in the league then?
There's no take here. My take is, here's what I'm witnessing. I'm witnessing a 0% chance Justin Fields start week 1, and that's it. As soon as we get an injury or like maybe 3 bad games in a row, we'll find a way in.
But does that mean that so you're going to go into week 1 supporting Nagy and Dalton?
Well, I'm going to be rooting for us to win. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm going to root for us to win. I hope Andy – you're telling me you go in and you want us to lose? No. I want Andy Dalton to help us win.
It's like okay. This is what I've been saying on Instagram. It's like it's a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. I hate every second.
But you're not gonna root for it.
Root for what?
If you turn on week 1 and Andy Dalton's starting, and it's like, oh, it's Andy Dalton. Well, there's no point for me to root for him to do well. No, he's still our Bears quarterback.
This is okay. Well, it's just a fundamental difference. I'm going to cheer for the Bears. I'm just going to be ticked about it. The same way that I feel bad that you're a Lakers fan and you have to sit there and cheer for LeBron every week. And it's like it's not the Lakers you're cheering for. You're cheering for LeBron now, and that's just that. This is a story about Nagy and Dalton, and you know what comes last is the Bears and the Bears fans. So I don't feel like a part of this group when we have two like annoying, stupid, weird.
So you're admitting right now that you put Justin Fields' legacy with the Bears above week 1 against the Rams getting a win.
But you saying that is also you saying that we have a better chance with Dalton, and you agree with Nagy.
No, it's not. Why?
No, because then my stance is I want Justin Fields to play week 1 so we can win. It's not about his legacy; it's for us.
But I agree. I want Justin Fields as well. So and I think he's the only one.
You're that last point.
I don't think we can win without him against the Rams. I don't think Andy Dalton.
I agree.
But it's also, Simeon, it's also a football game that counts as week 1. And if it's on TV and Andy Dalton's playing under center, and we almost get a touchdown pass, I want them to catch it and score. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Agree, but it's like
them to win the game.
How? Okay, fine. Let me ask you this: would it be in all honesty, realistically, would it be beneficial for him to have a poor week 1 or a good week 1?
Beneficial for the Bears, you're saying?
For our season.
For
2021.
That's a toss-up. It's a coin toss.
Well, maybe that's where I'm getting caught up because it's like he's hard to cheer for. It's like we're cheering for mediocrity. We're cheering for his ceiling. Yeah, we could go beat Rams week 1. We beat the Rams with Mitch.
But Simeon, what if we don't have another option? If we don't get to play, it's not that I'm cheering for Andy Dalton because I love Andy Dalton. I'm cheering because I have to.
Okay.
He's the only one that can help us win a game right now in week 1 because you're the only one on the field because Justin Fields is on the bench. So if there's no quarterback on the field, we can't win. The only guy that can throw football on the field at that moment is going to be
I get it, but are you going to go like week by week with your priorities or like do you want to be a Super Bowl team this year?
Well, no. Hold on. You can't ask me like a question like that where I'm damned if I do.
Then I'll ask this: what percent, 10%, 20%? What percent do you think that Andy Dalton has a chance to actually bring us to the promised land?
0.
It's a 0% chance.
Yeah.
Absolute 0% chance.
Now, Simeon, wait. Here's where you're gonna try to catch me slipping. When you say promised land, to me that's the Super Bowl or the playoffs.
It is because that's what I care about.
That doesn't mean week 1 win. That doesn't mean a 1 win. He can win games. I'm not saying he can't win games. I'm saying he can't get you to the top. But that doesn't mean he can't win you games. He can still win you games, Simeon.
Then that's a fundamental difference because I would never go into a season with a quarterback who could win me games. I get the whole Bill Parcells ideology, but that's that's like a running game. Like we don't have the line to sit there and sit on a running back. Monty's pretty good. Huh?
Yes, it's retarded.
It's retarded. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's just like It's so bad. It's so bad. If we were coach, I genuinely
I've accepted
think.
it. See, that's the difference. I'm not angry about it anymore because I've accepted it. I already know what's like. I already know.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna root for Justin Fields until he plays again. Like, there's nothing to root for. He's not gonna. No matter what, Matt Nagy refuses to, for some reason, to let Andy Dalton not start Week 1. Like that
Well,
is
it's
his
turning
goal.
into kind of like a Knicks-Mets dilemma here, where the team is almost, or the fans are almost ready to turn on the team because of management. I guess, right?
Coffee every day?
Huh?
You get a Keurig.
I have a Keurig. It was today I'm talking.
Oh, you're using the cups? K-cups?
Yes. I had a couple apple ciders last night, too.
Those are good.
That is something that needs to become kind of more of a fad, because that's, holy cow, so good. I've been drinking them like a madman.
Drinking apple cider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the spicy one.
Anywho, have you had hot toddies though? That drink, that hot apple cider with a little whiskey in there?
No.
Pretty bomb.
Is that like a drink you order from a bar, or is it like an actual drink?
It's like you do
brand,
that, like
it's got a label? Or is it like
no,
it's a
it would be
cocktail?
like
Come on,
no,
spit it out.
it's like jungle juice type, where you either make it yourself, or maybe at a restaurant you can order it, or do it at a campfire, that kind of thing.
Well, jungle juice at a campfire.
It's kind of
That
like
sounds
doing the
right.
whiskey and you make your own pot of black coffee. That's what I would say. It's like you make your
What?
own hot cider, and then you just pour some whiskey in it.
Oh, it was that cider that Mikey gave us a couple Thanksgiving ago that had no alcohol in it.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one, but that's probably
Oh
hot
man,
toddy.
I'll fill you in. Luke and I got this jug of cider. Mikey, if you hear this, I think it was a mistake or an accident. I'm not saying you duped us, but he gave us a nice big thing of cider. I swear, we drank that sucker in 2 days and never felt the buzz, but he was telling us to be careful with it. It was like a big jug, too. I think we just drank a lot of cider, had a good time.
You think so? You think it was cut with nothing? He fucked you?
I don't know. You can ask. I wish we had Luke to tune in on this one.
That's
Oops.
funny.
The Jackrabbit.
Why? Okay, so let's just get the elephant out of the room. By far the most popular fantasy name is Travis Kelce in the first round. And I think he'll be there for you at 5.
Wait. You think that's most popular among national media? Fantasy media?
Talked about.
I think Eckler 2 years in a row now has been that guy.
I didn't say no.
It's ridiculous.
What?
It's a bad first round pick. Don't take Eckler. Anybody who maybe even considers listening to me.
I didn't say Eckler.
No, but that's the most famous round 1 guy going around again. 2 years in a row.
I'm saying right now, seeing him get catapulted into a draft, potentially draft him ahead of Tyreek Hill. That to me has gotten more clout than I had seen in the past going on right now. But I do really like him at a certain. Obviously, everybody wants Travis Kelce. Just depends where you get him. I don't know if I would take him over Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams at 7. I probably would, but
it's kind of tough you saying this because in Donnie's scoring, Tyreek Hill makes sense. He can get you the boom plays with the big bonuses of yardage. Kelce has got to be the most consistent receiver in general over the last 5 seasons for points wise. I would guess out of receivers and tight ends and running backs, anybody receiving the ball,
for sure,
got to be. But what I was thinking about is, I'm a Waller fan. I'm a Kittle fan. I like Kmet. There's a lot of guys I like. I like Hunter Henry on the Patriots. But there's a lot of guys I like. I think, in a weird way, tight end is kind of perceived as football's version of the catcher. There's a couple tight ends, or there's a couple catchers. True. But I think in a weirder way, I think there's even less running backs.
Well, there isn't, but
I would make the argument though that because I could make the argument. Give me top 5 running backs. I quickly just spit them out. Go ahead, yours. Top 5 running backs.
Okay, but for drafting like in the first round, like studs.
Just
right?
go ahead, like what you personally.
No,
think.
because I'm not gonna let you trick me here. What kind
Let
of
me trick you. Well, I'm not trying to trick you.
You want the best fantasy running backs or the best real running backs? Because that's where you're wrong. Scarcity wise, there's more running backs than tight ends that are better. So okay, here you go.
Wait,
I'll give you Derrick Henry. I'll go Zeke. I'll go Christian McCaffrey. I'll go the guy in the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, and then. Okay, so let's just get the elephant out of the room. By far the most popular fantasy name is Travis Kelce in the first round. I think he'll be there for you at 5.
Wait. You think that's most popular among national media?
Talked about.
I think Eckler 2 years in a row now has been that guy.
I didn't say no.
It's ridiculous.
What?
It's a bad first round pick. Don't take Eckler. Anybody who maybe even considers listening to me.
I didn't say Eckler.
No, but that's the most famous round 1 guy going around again. 2 years.
Oh, I'm saying right now, seeing him get catapulted into a draft, potentially draft him ahead of Tyreek Hill. That to me has gotten more clout than I had seen in the past going on right now. But I do really like him at obviously, everybody wants Travis Kelce. Just depends where you get him. I don't know if I would take him over Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams at 7. I probably would, but
it's kind of tough you saying this because in Donnie's scoring, Tyreek Hill makes sense. He can get you those boom plays with the big bonuses of yardage. Kelce has got to be the most consistent receiver in general over the last 5 seasons for points wise. I would guess out of receivers and tight ends and running backs. Anybody receiving the ball.
For sure.
Gotta be. But what I was thinking about is I'm a Waller fan. I'm a Kittle fan. I like Kmet. There's a lot of guys I like. I like Hunter Henry on the Patriots. But there's a lot of guys I like. I think in a weird way, tight end is kind of perceived as football's version of the catcher. There's a couple tight ends or there's a couple catchers. True. But I think in a weirder way, I think there's even less running backs.
Well, there isn't, but
I would make the argument though that because I could make the argument. Give me top 5 running backs. I quickly just spit them out. Go ahead, yours. Top 5 running backs.
Okay, but for drafting in the first round, studs.
Just
right?
go ahead, what you personally.
No, because I'm not gonna let you trick me here.
Let me trick you. Well, I'm not trying to trick you.
You want the best fantasy running backs or the best real running backs? Because that's where you're wrong. Scarcity wise, there's more running backs than tight ends that are better. So okay, here you go.
Wait,
I'll give you Derrick Henry. I'll go Zeke. I'll go Christian McCaffrey. I'll go the guy in the Vikings, Dalvin Cook. And then 5th running back, give me...
Aaron Jones? Josh Jacobs?
Oh, no, God, no. I guess Nick Chubb.
That makes total sense. Okay, tight ends. You can name 5 like that, too, who will all produce.
No, not like those guys will.
This is turning out to be quite the argument.
It's just not true, though, what you're saying. I get your point, but it's not true.
Well, you know what? I'm actually hella good at fantasy, so.
Go ahead. Give me top 5 tight ends that are as stud-worthy of those guys I just named.
Tight ends? As stud-worthy?
Yeah. You said that there's more scarcity with the running backs. I don't agree with that.
Scarcity was the wrong word. I would say like talent gap, point gap.
But yeah, well, that's a scarcity. What you're saying between like the 4th best and the 20th best, there's
All
a
right.
bigger difference.
Kelsey's got to be 1. Kittle, Waller. Who's next?
Mark Andrews.
Andrews. I would agree. Then probably the motherfucker on Green Bay, Tunyon. He scores like,
Great.
yeah, I mean, and then we got the 2 in New England, Hunter Henry and John.
Now, do you really you have that much faith in even pick one of them? You pick whichever one you like better. You have that much faith that he's going to be
Tim,
as good as Nick Chubb?
Listen, you got me.
Right. Because we didn't even name Kamara.
No. Listen. Cole
Or
Kmet.
J.K. Dobbins.
Cole Kmet. T.J. Hawkinson.
You trust T.J. Hawkinson to give you numbers.
Jason Witten.
I don't even trust
Jimmy
Kittle.
Graham.
It's Kelsey for me. Kelsey is like getting Mahomes as a quarterback. Like, he's going to score more points than the second best guy by a minute.
So did you see Dak was to start week 1? Or that's the update.
Yep, he scares me.
Scares
Red
you?
flags all over him.
Yeah, me too. I like him, man.
Too bad, but
He's easy to cheer for. He's talented, but we all know what he is and where he'll end up. And that is on the IR.
he's good for going him and then pick up someone like a Fields or a Lance.
Maybe even an Andy Dalton or a Foles.
No, I'm saying that somebody you know is going to start for the first few weeks, but by halfway through the season he'll be hurt or not playing, and Justin Fields by then will be balling out.
Okay, I have a question. Washington football team. What is with the hype? Not that good.
Washington football team.
What is with the hype? I still take the Fantalakins to beat them head up. Atlanta Falcons.
In what?
And they're supposed to be trash. Just
Are
in
they playing
general.
week 1?
And yes, I always think about that I still have the Falcons better than the freaking Washington trash team. With the weird head coach and the weird quarterback and the weird running back situation. And the weird receivers room. I like Terry, but
I mean, they're probably similarly ranked.
I love their D-line, but I can't imagine anybody outside of Chase Young is going to develop into like a stud veteran. Montez Sweat is the other guy, right? Hello!
Yes, I'm letting you reign here while I'm looking up the rankings, because I bet they're very closely ranked. Falcons are 25, Redskins are 22.
Aren't Skins kind of being hyped up, though, where you think... I think they're going to be like the 30th, 30 to 31.
So, who do you think wins that division?
Dallas or the Giants.
Dallas or the Giants.
I like Jalen Hurts. He's my favorite quarterback in the group, honestly, which is kind of fucked up. But I don't like the fresh system and the weird defense and the hoopla in Philly. Joe Judge is kind of a...
Why? What's going on in Philly that you don't like? I actually kind of like them to turn it around.
I don't know. That preseason game gave me weird feelings. They don't look very complete. And the other thing is they won't commit to Jalen Hurts. So I kind of have this loyalty thing going on in me where I'm getting like real upset. Where it's just like, just say he's a starter. The guy deserves it. He deserves it, and he's good and cool. He's a good leader, better than Wentz, all that good stuff. But they like won't say he's the starting quarterback. And it's like, how could you be a good coach? Similar to Nagy, he's like, if you can't just sit there and say Hurts is your starter. Who else is there? Flacco? Joe Flacco?
Casario?
Joe Flacco is the fucking other guy. It's like, are you insane? If there's anybody who's like a Andy Dalton on juice. It's Flacco talking about the amount of like second chances he's gotten as a backup QB. Jets, Denver, Ravens even with that first year with Lamar, and he's always been trash. He had one preseason game, and they go, I don't know if our young, fast as hell, sick leader quarterback's gonna be our guy. I think we should take this weird, antisocial, awkward dude, Mr. Elite Joe Flacco, and let's make a competition out of him. It's like, what in the world? Why?
I want to say that Jalen Hurts was given the starting job already.
As of what I've heard lately, they're not committing to a starting quarterback yet, similar to Denver.
No, I know it's weird.
I know Hurts is starting now. Hurts it's clear he's
kind of like
starting.
a Nagy thing. Like he's
It's the
refusing.
Nagy thing. Yes, it's the Nagy.
But
That's all I was saying.
He's refusing to name the starter, but I think it would just make sense that right now it would be Jalen's job to lose because he was the starter going into camp. Because he was their starter last year. So I guess you would assume he's going to start unless he gets pulled for some reason. You going to eat during the podcast?
Why not?
I wanted to eat this whole time.
Go grabby. Oh, man. This is Del Taco. Anybody outside of the western region of the United States doesn't have Del Taco. This was $1.
What's in there?
Chicken and cheese.
Damn.
It's wrapped in tinfoil. I got a couple of sauces. This is the Del Inferno. And this is the Del Scorcho. I want to mix them. Timmy, where you going?
All right. Well, while you eat, I'll go. I'll bring up something then. Let me think.
What are you eating? Ruffles?
I'm eating
Are those Red Hot? Or whatever the
Flamin' Hot Ruffles.
Flamin' Hot. Red Hot's Frank's. When's the last time you had Frank's Red Hot?
50, 60 years. All right. MLB.
Oh.
I'll tell you this real quick. Obviously, we're a Chicago podcast, but the White Sox have looked.
I keep forgetting it's the first episode officially. We're Chicago fans, but we're not from Chicago.
We're not going to keep this part in here. This part, we're cutting this out.
All right.
It's eating. I don't think it's great. I think it's good content.
Oh, why not?
Actually, low-key ASMR.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
All right, do some smacking. Come on.
I don't know where the microphone is.
Yeah. Okay. So in the middle of the podcast, someone just pull out some ASMR.
Hey, somebody send us some microphones.
Look, if you guys hit the link below and we can get this bitch up to 2 likes, we will get a microphone.
Microphone.
Okay, microphones.
Yes.
And
I was also thinking about a soundboard, which I would dominate.
Oh, sure. Once I open this bag, you can't stop.
I would dominate the soundboard. See, we're a Chicago podcast. I told you, because we would dominate.
Oh. I'm a little concerned about the White Sox right now.
All right, give me your TLR current take.
On the state of the franchise? No, let me talk about the state of the franchise before I talk about Tony.
All right.
The state of the franchise right now, we still have yet to achieve a better than 500 record against teams with a 500 record. We still can't beat good teams. It still is not happening. All the way this far into the season. I thought by now we would have turned it around, but it's just we.
When's
we
Rodon coming back?
Rodon won't be back until the playoffs, but it's fine.
That makes
it's
me
scaring
nervous.
me because our offense is not hitting right now at all.
that was
Our offense
weird.
kind of sucks, and our
weird.
bullpen is ass.
And Timmy today and yesterday, Timmy was just precautionary out. So, and he's their spark. Even though I like Cesar Hernandez. Kike. Okay, let's get this straightened out. Cesar is Kike, correct?
No, different guy.
Kike's on the Red Sox, right?
I don't know where he went. I think so. He used to be a Dodger, I think.
Caesar was an Indian. Yeah.
Cesar. For some reason, I call him Caesar, but
Hold up. But Kike is also Caesar.
Okay. It's not the same guy. That's not Kiki Hernandez.
I think there's two Caesars, though. Let me see. Kiki Hernandez, real name.
My guy's just a normal, real Cesar Hernandez. He was never a Dodger.
Kike is real as Enrique. That makes sense.
Okay. Anywho.
Is that who Drake was talking about?
Current top 5 MLB teams' power rankings going into the postseason right now for you. Who do you have?
Going into the pussy? I heard. I got top 5.
Top 5.
Like who's okay.
I got number 5 is the Giants.
I guess 5. Yeah, I got the same. I got Houston. I have the Giants. White Sox. I think will string together like a nice chunk of wins, really solidify their spot. I think Yankees.
We're already in. We're like pretty much clinched.
Yeah, I think Yankees are gonna edge out Sox and Rays, unfortunately, and Jays. Talk about a strong division. Holy smokes! I'm addicted to that baseball. That is the best freaking baseball. If the Red Sox can somehow make the postseason with that group and those starting pitchers, without Chris Sale all year, that's just unbelievable. You have to believe in them. Come October.
We do, but I think them and Toronto miss, and it's close, but
it's
I
too
think
bad.
They miss.
Toronto, I think, might be the most talented team in the MLB right now, and it's like I don't know how they haven't strung together more wins. They've been healthy.
I would say they're
healthy.
probably the most talented team in their thing, in their division. I wouldn't say in the MLB.
Crazy in about one or two seasons. I would also say that I think Vlad deserves the MVP. I know Ohtani's awesome, but I think Vlad deserves it. Numbers are bananas. Or do you like Ohtani still?
What?
You still think Ohtani will get it?
No, I was laughing because just realizing it's so bad just be eating a bag of chips.
Whatever.
Bad radio.
Whatever.
Um,
I wish I had another chicken quesadilla from Del Taco with the Inferno and El Scorcho sauce.
You wish you had another one, you're saying?
All right, let me hear your Matt Nagy impression going through the Del Taco sauces.
All right. Go do the Del Taco. So, we originally thought as a team on Monday that we wanted to go with the Del Scorcho. And, it's a process and something you learn from and you build on. And I think going throughout the week, we decided we're going to go back to the Del Scorcho. We're going to stick with the Del Scorcho. And I think it's a process. I know. Look, I know. I hear you guys.
Yeah, sure you hear us.
I know you said it's shit.
Well, clearly, Inferno is better than El Scorcho. You need to reiterate there and start the Inferno. At least the mild, because the mild you can cake on. Not really worry about heartburn.
Sure.
Okay.
Mild, who is the mild in the NFL right now?
Mild
is
that you could just.
Who is it?
So, like the most underrated team?
No, it's the quarterback. Because if we're talking that right now, he wants to stick with Andy Dalton. He wants to stick with the Del Scorcho.
Oh, who's El Scorcho? And who's
Mr.
Inferno?
Inferno is Fields. Like, dude, bro, play Inferno, right?
Fields is Inferno for sure.
And I think that's like Teddy Bridgewater. Like
mild.
Bring it on. I'd rather have it than Andy Dalton. I'll cake on some fucking Teddy Bridgewater.
I guess I can ask you, Bridgewater or Drew Lock?
Who would you rather have right now if you're a GM? If you're a GM.
With that defense, bro, I'm playing Bridgewater. I'm gonna try to win every game 16-10.
You go Bridgewater?
Yep,
You think Bridgewater
no turnovers will win Denver enough games to make the playoffs.
So you're saying try to do it like the Bears and just let the defense carry you?
Well, what the Bears were 2 years ago.
Right. All right. Who would you rather start? Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, or Nick Foles?
Mitch.
Mitch or Drew Lock?
Mitch.
Mitch or Teddy?
Mitch.
Mitch or Minshew?
Minshew.
Minshew
Yeah.
or Trevor Lawrence?
Right now?
Week 1.
God, Sam. Minshew.
Minshew or Fields?
Fields.
Minshew or Trey Lance?
Minshew.
Loki. Minshew or Zach Wilson?
Minshew.
Minshew
No,
or
I'll take
Dak?
Zach. I'll take Zach Wilson. He actually has really impressed me, and I
Oh,
cheer
okay,
for that
so Zach
motherfucker.
Wilson, that's who
He's
you
kind of like he's somebody. It would be healthy for football if he was like a face of quarterbacks. He's like cool as hell. He's like TikTok kind of guy, right?
Yes.
And he's got
You
like
can
that
say
like religious base. It's like kind of in your face a little bit. It's a little bit fuck you-y. Kind of like it.
Oh, it's a total fuck you.
It is. I like
I mean,
Zach Wilson.
he's like the new Aaron Rodgers.
He looks
for,
good,
like,
dude. He looks. That's his idol, I guess.
Yeah.
He looks really good, though. He
If
can
you're a
s-
fucking Bills fan,
he
or
can
like a
sling the ball.
Dolphins
He
fan,
kind of reminds you of like a Jay Cutler arm, where he's just like.
if you're a Bills fan, you hate Zach Wilson right now. That's your new Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's probably pretty good. He's probably going to beat us a couple times, and fuck that kid.
Yeah. Well, I like Bills over Jets.
Oh, of course. The Giants are the worst of all those teams. I'd rather be a Jets fan than a
I'm
Giants
still a Patriots guy. I went and saw the Patriots once, and that was enough for me.
That was enough for you?
Belichick, man, he's like, how can you not be a fan of him if you're a true guy?
How can you not be a fan of Mac Jones if his past two coaches was Nick Saban liked him and Bill Belichick liked him?
Oh, that's so delicious. I love that. Oh, Saban Belichick mix? Are you kidding me? He's gonna be
Right.
the best.
I heard a really good point on him today. Someone said,
He's sweet.
like, yes, I know he went to Alabama and he was under Nick Saban and they had the best receivers in the country, but he's like, and yes, he set the record for 78% and 55 touchdowns or whatever it was, but he was like, if it's so easy and everybody could have done it, why is he the first one to ever do it? Like, if it's just because it's a system thing, why hasn't anyone done it yet? So like, at least give him the credit. He's pretty good. He did just set an accuracy and like yards record.
I agree. I mean, I thought he was a really talented, like,
It's like
talking
Burrow.
about a guy who can like play a system beautifully, like a Brady, you know, like really stand in that pocket and play a system perfectly. Mac Jones, I remember, like, that's a prototype and a half. He's
Wow, that's a hot take. You're calling Mac Jones a prototype and a half.
for sitting in the pocket
For a
and
fucking
making a
presence, yes.
35
No, you're right.
35-yard throw, like across the middle. I mean,
His
he is-
translatable skills.
it's graceful. He's got a big body. People don't rate the way it should be rated. I mean, I guarantee he can absorb hits, and he really can. The way he tosses the ball, he never really slings it. In the fact where he may throw inaccurate deep balls, he just kind of throws them out there, and they're like on the damn money. I think
Oh,
he trusts
on the money.
the
Did
game
you
of
watch
football.
the highlights from the other night?
He trusts the game of football. I did. He trusts the game of football, which I think is like more than a lot of quarterbacks can say. Look at this. I just figured out the beatbox secret. I opened up the cap Rippy style,
Okay.
and there's a little like actual
Oh, you're just getting all in there.
foil hole. I'm
Okay.
gonna take the cap off, Rippy. You like when you get the Capri Sun and you jab and get rid of the straw? Always tastes a little better.
Wow, Mac Jones, 4.0 student at Alabama.
Justin
And
Fields, 3.8.
Coached the the college version of Powder Puff for the sorority. He was the head coach.
That's awesome. Really? Love it.
They talk about his fucking sweet DUI all the time. They should be talking about that too.
His
Trying
what?
to make him sound more cool. Like,
What's his DUI?
you know how he got a DUI?
No.
He got a DUI like freshman year, and for some reason, like someone talked about it like a week before the draft. They're like, "How has literally nobody brought this up?" It was like when he was like a backup at Alabama or something.
It was like a Baker Mayfield type deal.
Yeah, something like they get like a bar or whatever. I don't know what it was, but he got a DUI, and like nobody talked about it. And then somebody was like, "Why the fuck is nobody bringing this up about Mac Jones? He literally has a DUI. It's a red flag. We're making up red flags about Justin Fields."
He's gone from
And people are like, and no one gave a shit. Didn't
Saban.
matter.
Saban.
But I was thinking, like, when they did that, like, dude, all you're doing is making his fucking fan suckle up. Like, all right, Mac Jones, you're fucking sweet. DUI.
For real, like,
He's like a
there's
party boy
total-
college kid.
total nerds out there in the sports world who just want to, like, keep everything, like
Would
it's-
you rather have Kirk Cousins?
Oh, yeah, they would. I wouldn't.
Kirk Cousins.
Like,
He's probably
if
supposed
anything,
to be
I respect the Fields about Jamarcus Russell. The stories. The stories. What did I say? Like, I love that they gave him game tape to go study, and he just, like, no.
Jamarcus? Yes.
No, number one pick. I could throw the ball 60 yards with my knees. Like, what? Did you watch the film? Yep.
Think about the way we were
Imagine if they
evaluating.
leaned
Like,
into that. If they leaned into that, would it have been a little better?
I mean, they probably could have. I think there's a ceiling with it. Like, yes, but I think Tom Brady is the antithesis of him, where like he's only winning because he only works hard. It's not about that other shit. Where you would get the most inconsistent starter for the next 10 years in the league. Like, you probably have some great games, like a Jameis Winston, and you probably have some awful seasons, some awful picks.
Better than where they kind of had him.
The Raiders?
Well, let's go ahead and.
Oh God, you want to do a Raiders deep dive?
No, we'll save that because there's some stuff I'm still looking at. What I do want to talk about, though, based off that fact you just made, Jameis Taysom Hill. I think it's pretty easy. I don't even see how there's competition, but
I guess. I mean, my
think
first
Jameis
instinct is you
not
start
very-
Jameis, obviously, but then the more I think about it, the more like
Taysom
Jameis
Hill.
does have a ceiling. Jameis is not going to win you a playoff game. Like, I'm telling you, he's not. He's not accurate enough, and he's too reckless.
What about Taysom Hill?
I know, but that's my thing. Like, I don't know with Taysom. I mean, I guess like if you play like a
Jason-
Lamar
I mean,
Jackson
Jason.
offense,
He doesn't get
it'd be
the
interesting.
Jameis doesn't get the credit he deserves.
but he's-
I mean, the guy
he's so-
like he's
He played
he
Simeon.
turned-
This is the
I mean,
Andy Dalton thing.
think about
He was a
this.
starter for so long.
Mike
saw it. He
Mike
never
Evans is
changed.
obsessed with the guy. I mean, to have a
Yeah,
receiver that
but-
talented want a guy to just like spin the ball out there to him, and it's like good. I mean, that's a good sign to me. Most
This is unfair. You're doing the opposite of your Andy Dalton thing because you said we've seen Andy Dalton. He was a starter for X amount
hold
of years.
up,
We
what
know who he is.
receiver goes? Yeah, Andy Dalton's awesome. I said that Allen Robinson. I used this point actually to back up Fields. I said Allen Robinson's talent, saying that Fields is going to have an awesome career, and that's enough for me. Me knowing that Mike Evans loved Jameis's deep balls.
So you're taking Mike Evans' one quote over 10 years of starting experience as a Bucs quarterback and what I've seen on film. You're taking
10
one
years,
quote, Mike
dude.
Evans.
10 years. I think he had like 5
All right,
seasons.
8 years.
Nah,
However
how
long
do you-
him and Mariota have been in there.
5, maybe.
No, they're older than that. We're thinking about it. They're already both past their rookie deals and onto their next shit.
That would be like 5 years.
Okay, so that's your guess, 5 years?
I would say 5, 6 years. 7, 5, 6, 7.
6 years then?
5, 6, 7.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
No, look. What year did they get drafted?
They're going into their
Actually,
7th
I
year.
discovered another beatbox trick. If you
Yeah.
were to look at this bottle right now, what would you think?
I think that looks like a cool, refreshing drink for the summer.
Would
especially
you have
after-
known that it was actually meant to have like pink coming off the sides, or what, does this folding technique trick you?
Yes.
And then you can also detach the 2 ears. If you're like a Doberman type, if you're like a
Sure.
Beagle type, and you can kind of make them like hang. Anyway, beatbox is an awesome drink. Cranberry Dreams.
Wow. Okay. Say you're maybe a fan of a bird. What would you do?
If I was a fan of a bird and I was drinking beatboxes, you simply take your index fingers, correct?
Yeah.
Correct?
Okay.
You're going to tuck them under the pits of the folds that you detach.
Sure.
Okay? Now, you have to pay attention because there might be glue in that area.
Okay.
But you simply have to just press corners and watch.
Bingo.
It's a flapping sensation. Now, it's simply an illusion to the eye, considering this is, what is this, foil cardboard? I mean, all animal lovers, just look at that.
Yeah.
Enough said.
I almost shot you with the arrow.
What, is there effects on this app? Can I shoot you with tomatoes?
No, you remember the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's all-time meme moment that was never used.
That is the greatest superhero talent or thing you could have. Howard
He's such a trailer park character.
in everything.
How is that guy a superhero? He's like a deep south, like, weirdo. He like whistles with like a missing bottom tooth.
Wasn't he like a piece of shit hero in the movie?
Yeah, but it's like, come on. Somebody with a southern draw actually exists in like the future.
Right. Yes, you need the drunk guy with the cigarettes and the big duster.
That's who I relate to.
Right.
Unapologetic,
Sure.
really good at whistling.
Weird blind loyalty with my teams. So
I didn't change. I've always been Bulls Celtics.
no, I know. But I'm
I just
saying
said Kobe
with,
White. That's a Bull.
Yeah, but even the fact that you rooted for Kobe when he was a Laker.
I didn't. I just thought he was the best player of all time. I still cheered for KG and for fucking Truth in that finals. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I figured you did. Never mind.
Did you see they're retiring KG's jersey?
In Boston,
You know what? Actually, I'll say this. The reason Kobe was my guy was because I watched him up. You and Luke were fans of his. Played Celtics, so my team was their rival. He was awesome. I couldn't help but every time you guys cheered and I wasn't, it made sense while you guys were cheering. That was like the scariest guy that's ever touched a basketball. And the same thing goes for.
No,
you're
that's
gonna
fair.
hate
You
this.
can say, yeah.
It's very similar to my Aaron Rodgers stuff. It's like I respect how talented the guy is because it's like it's annoying. I mean, you play against him, it's like, what the hell? Like, how do you flick your wrist like that and throw a 40-yard dart? It's amazing. I hate the motherfucker, but it's amazing. Shit.
Wow.
I know. He's trash.
Sheesh. All right. Well, we don't have to say anything more on that then.
It's Tony.
Go
I'm a
ahead.
Tony Romo fan.
Let me steer you back to.
Go Birds. Tony Romo's retired. Go
Yeah.
Birds.
Let me steer you back to the gambling side here.
All right.
What
Well,
if-
let me give a
What if
little.
you and I
I'm
were
in
to-
Vegas.
Which we already did. We already snake drafted the MLB teams.
Yep.
We didn't snake draft the NFL.
I don't think we've ever snake drafted the NFL. I love that.
Let's try it.
Is it good content?
Yeah, I think it would be good content. I mean, because give a reason. Let's just give a quick reason why we're picking that team.
A reason.
So what? So let's go 5 each snake draft NFL Super Bowl winner.
Do you want to do a real snake draft, or would you rather? Wait, did you get the update on scoring?
Yeah.
I think that came in last.
We could do
bro.
we can do the auction style, or we could do a snake draft, or we can come up with our own bet where I can give you 1 or 2 teams and I get the field, or I give you 3 teams except for 1 team. Maybe get a little creative with it that way.
Wow, I had a bad day. Oh. My week was wide open for fantasy because I had the matchups against the Orioles and I had the matchup against the Pirates. Just didn't pan out. That was Braves, and Cardinals. Those are my guys, basically. 5 of my starters every week.
I lost a lot of money betting on the Cardinals this week. Or I guess betting on unders with them and overs with them.
I'll give myself a quick little prop because I've started Tim Anderson every week this year. Up until this week, I pinched him Friday, and he didn't end up playing Saturday or Sunday. I had Dansby. But I pinched him Friday. He scored 11 points. Love Timmy. Who's your favorite player on the White Sox?
My favorite player on the White Sox would probably be Lance Lynn. It was Nick Madrigal.
I like Goodwin more than Magical.
All right, so
What about
you want
Mendick?
to
Do you like Mendick?
want us to go
Mendick's good.
snake? Huh?
I like Mendick.
What'd you say before that?
He's good.
He's good. Relative to what? He's one
You
of the
know
best
who's the most underrated
baseball-
player in your lineup? I bet you can guess this, actually. Who's the most underrated player in the White Sox lineup?
in the lineup or overall?
In the lineup.
Just in the lineup. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, in the lineup.
Are you saying just their batting or
Yes,
overall?
just batting.
Most underrated bat. Gosh, underrated. There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
I would say Abreu still is most underrated White Sox. But,
He's rated, bro, but there's an underrated guy in there.
No, and Abreu, from my point of view, is the most underrated MLB player I've ever watched. Anyways, well, Goodwin, because he's not a good batter and he's having pretty good batting season with us. So, and then
Zavala.
why he's good.
He has got some incredible static strength. He barely,
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched him clip so many balls that just fly.
Do you see where he
Fly.
bats first?
He's
He
awesome.
literally gets.
He bats
he'll literally
ninth,
get
bro.
thrown in the 5 hole sometimes. He's not underrated. They know
He's
he's
underrated. I think that's a really good play. I mean, that's a super bat. He has a lot of homers. He's got a lot of static power. But I think that's like one of the biggest not intangible, but one of the best things you could have in baseball is power elbows down. I mean, you can really reach outside and just clip one and let it fly. Zavala's really got that. I mean, from what I've seen, coming off the bat, it's got to be triple digits almost nearly every time. I like him. But he bats
He
ninth.
is.
He bats ninth a lot. I'm not sure. I didn't notice he batted cleanup. I always
No, because you know how we have 3. I guess
Anderson scores them all the time.
You could argue we have three catchers that bat at least once a week in our lineup, and I'm saying in a pinch spot, you see Zavala get pinched in a big moment often.
Has Grandal been hurt all year? He has
No, not all year, but yes.
That's too bad. That's a good bat too.
So
I
we can
don't
go-
want to talk about the White Sox because you're a fan.
No, we don't have to talk about them. That's what I'm saying.
That's kind of the most interesting team in baseball this year, though.
We could keep talking about them. I figured it wouldn't be worth talking about them.
Baseball's strange.